In this video, we're going to use what we learned about equivalent fractions to add fractions with unlike denominators. Remember, the denominator is the number on the bottom of the fraction. It tells you what kind of things you have. Here, this says we have one thing, and that thing is a half. We have 1/2. This fraction says we have two things, and those things we have are thirds. So we want to add 1/2 plus 2/3. Those denominators are not the same, so we can't simply add 1 plus 2 and get 3 of something. So we're going to use that idea of equivalent fractions to help us out. So we're going to start by writing equivalent fractions for 1/2. So we know 1/2 is the same as, well, I can multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. The same as 2/4. And I'll do this 4 times, which is the same as, now I'll multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 3. So that's the same as 3/6. Multiplying top and bottom by 4, it's the same as 4/8. And that's the same as 5/10. So those are all fractions that are equal to 1/2. We're going to do the same thing for 2/3. 2/3 is the same as 4/6. I'm using the same logic I did there. I can multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. I can multiply the top by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And the bottom by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. I can multiply the top by 4, so it's the same as 8/12. And I can multiply the top and bottom by 5, the same as 10/15. Now we want to turn 1/2 and 2/3 into fractions that have the same denominator. So I look at all my denominators here of my equivalent fractions. 4, 6, 8, and 10 for 1/2, 6, 9, 12, and 15 for 2/3. Look at these two fractions. 3/6 is the same as 1/2. 4/6 is the same as 2/3. Those fractions have the same denominator, so I can just change my problem. So instead of having 1/2 plus 2/3, I can just use 3/6 for 1/2. And I can use 4/6 for 2/3. Now I have the same kinds of things. I have 3/6 and I have 4/6. All together, 3 plus 4, or 7/6. Let's do another example. This time we're going to add 7/12. And we're going to add 7/15. So here I have 7 things, each of those things is a 12th. Here I have 7 other things, each of those is a 15th. I can't simply add the tops because I have different kinds of things. So I need to change each of those fractions by finding some equivalent fractions. So 7/12 is the same as 14/24, and I got that by multiplying the top and the bottom by 2. 7 times 2, 14. 12 times 2, 24. 7/12 is the same as 21/36. I got that by multiplying the top and bottom by 3. Then we'll multiply the top and bottom by 4. And multiply the top and bottom by 5. Now I've only found 4 equivalent fractions. You might have to find more. If I do this for both fractions, I go out 4 equivalent fractions and I don't find any with the same denominator, I might have to do some more of this. There is a mathematical shortcut to figure out exactly what denominator you should be using, but we'll talk about that in a later video. Right now I want to make sure you understand how we can use equivalent fractions to add fractions with unlike denominators. So now it's time to find equivalent fractions for 7/15. 7/15 is the same as 14/30. Again, multiply the top and bottom by 2. Multiply the top and bottom by 3. Multiply the top and bottom by 4. And multiply the top and bottom by 5. And you might have already noticed that I didn't really need to go out to the 5th one here. Of course, I just forgot how to multiply 15 times 5, so let me erase this. So you probably already saw that 35/60 is the same as 7/12. And when you saw me get to 28/60 for 7/15, you're probably wondering, why are you even doing one more of those? And I didn't really need to. 7/12 is the same as 35/60. 7/15 is the same as 28/60. So I can rewrite my original problem. Because 7/12 plus 7/15 is the same as 35/60 plus 28/60. And that is simply 63/60. Now you might have noticed in both this and the previous example, we've ended up with a fraction where the numerator is bigger than the denominator. We call that an improper fraction, which doesn't really offend me, but if you desire, you can turn that into a mixed number. That's 1 3/60.